Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
And
Shabbat Shalom to all of you at home. We know there are thousands of you watching.
at home.
The few and the mighty are here in our chapel this evening.
We hope everyone is staying warm and safe.
Yep.
And
it's still Hanukkah.
It's still Hanukkah. It's Shabbat. It's still Hanukkah. So we're going to start tonight with lighting our Hanukkah candles.
As long as I can light the lighter first. There we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. Amen.
And transitioning from Hanukkah to Shabbat.
Exactly. Now that we've lit the Hanukkah candles, we can officially welcome in Shabbat.
And I think the thing that I think about when Hanukkah and when Shabbat collide in a way is almost the doubling of light. And obviously there's more than just two candles, but the idea that at a time of immense darkness, when we bring in light, and Shabbat is just another opportunity to think about the ways that our world needs that extra bit of light. So we'll light our Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. If you are watching on streaming, there should be a link that you can click. You can see the visual tefillah slides that we see on the walls behind us. If you'd like to follow along with the words and the images that we are seeing here in the room, if you are in the room and you would like to use a prayer book, you are welcome to. You guys are Shabbat pros, so you know the drill, but the page numbers are in the bottom right corner of the images. You can follow along with the prayers that we are reading and singing on the screens behind us, in the books in your hands. We're going to begin welcoming in Shabbat with the words of Lecha Dodi. Please sing with us, page 20. Yalai la la la, yai la 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 la, yalai la la la, yai la la la, yai la 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 la, yai la la la, yalai la la, yalai la la la, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela, shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmianu el hamichad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, v'shemu tiferet ve'litila, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haviracha mero נשואך סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה.
And we'll continue with our service with Baruch Hu. I'll invite you to please rise.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed
Continuing with the Hebrew, Baruch Atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim B'chokhma poteach she'arim Uvituna mishane itim Umachalif et hazmanim Umisader et hakochavim B'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono Borei yom v'layla Golel or mipnei choshech V'choshech mipnei or Umavir yom umevi layla Umavdil ben yom uvein layla Adonai tzivaot shemo El Chai v'kayam Tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv haravim Amen.
We'll read responsively, page 148. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world.
In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth.
In each age we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We'll continue responsively. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound.
Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom. ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני Yalalai, yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai.
We rise for the blessings of the Amidah, page 155.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Koneh HaKol, V'zocher chasdei avot ve'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, lema'an shemo be'ahava. melech ozer umoshia umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham vezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, mechaye hakol, atah rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato lishene afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot umido melach. Melech memit umechaye umatmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimecha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. And at this point in our service, we turn to take a few moments to pray for those who are in need of healing of the body or healing of the spirit, or maybe those just in need of a little extra hope this Shabbat. We're praying for the healing of Cindy Baker, Bob Broder, Ada Barbara Corvelli, Janice Cummins, Bill Foster, Marcy Goldsmith, Julie Levine, Alfred Marcus, Judy Zucker, and Eric Rosenson. And to those names, of course, we add those that all of you are praying for this evening. If you feel inclined and like to share those with the community, either here in the room or those of you at home, I invite you to do so. Prayers for healing. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals the sick.
Mi sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imoteinu mekor habracha lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Every Shabbat, I'm going to turn us back for a moment. When we read this reading before Micha Mocha, the one that starts, we worship the power that unites the universe. I think back to last Sukkot.
I think so.
Right. Last Sukkot, we had this guest speaker, and Lucy and I talk about this all the time, who not derailed in a really positive way, went on a tangent with her guest sermon when she read this prayer, specifically the part that said, "When will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves." And it's one of those things that, admittedly, when you read it every week, you kind of miss over the meaning of a lot of these pieces. But in this time of year when there's a lot about both taking and giving, I'm particularly looking around the room. There's multiple people in this room that give a lot of themselves for others that are very much in need, inspired by the kind of the small group that's here tonight. It made me kind of take pause and want to bring us back to this line: when will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. It's a little something to meditate on as we turn to our prayer, praying for peace, praying for an abundance of peace over all the Shabbat. Shalom Rav, page 164.
It's true. I think of her every time we say that prayer now. When we get
Every
to that
single
line,
time.
that pops into my head, and her awestruck way of reading. She said, when we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. She was just absolutely awestruck by it.
Yeah.
And she breathed new life into the prayer for us. And thanks for the reminder, Rabbi Leah. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov me'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We'll take a few moments of silent prayer.
Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, amen. Oseh shalom, shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael, amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And of course, Shabbat Shalom to those of you who are at home. We hope you are staying warm and everybody is safe and everybody is having a relaxing beginning to your Shabbat, wherever you are doing it. Last week, the first half of last week, I had an opportunity to spend a few days on a really incredible trip with the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, HIAS, which is the organization that TBJ is hosting our Ukrainian family that we are being connected with through. But this trip took me with a group of clergy to Texas, to El Paso, specifically to the El Paso-Juarez border, to learn about refugees and asylum seekers, and kind of the greater scheme of it in our immigration system. And I will share a lot more about this experience when, over the next week or so, I get to take some time to process and to do some writing about it and prepare to share a lot more of my thoughts about it. But one part that stuck out to me that felt really relevant to tonight was a moment that I had at an organization called Annunciation House. It's a refugee shelter where specifically they receive people when they're at the stop of their journey, when they have crossed the border, they've already kind of been processed into the system seeking asylum and need a safe place to stay before they get to their next step of their journey. They are sometimes coming off of being detained. They are sometimes just kind of at the very end of their strength in their journey. They go there for a meal, for a shower, for somewhere to sleep for the night, or maybe a couple of nights. They get some clothes, and this organization also helps them, their volunteers help book their travel onto the next step of their journey, often going to a city where they have family members waiting for them. So we were about to leave our visit. We got a tour from one of their volunteers, and somebody who was staying there, this woman who I believe was there with 2 children, came running up to the volunteer to let her know that she was officially booked on a flight that night and needed help getting to the airport. And what stuck out to me so vividly was the expression on this woman's face. It showed that excitement, that relief, that joy, and knowing that her struggle was so far from being over, and we can only imagine what her and her family had been through getting to that point, and what kind of dangerous situation or what kind of challenging situation she had been to make such a journey in the first place. But in that moment, what it looked like and what her expression revealed was that it was the perfect combination of chance, of humanity, of strength, and maybe a little bit or a lot of faith that brought her to this point. It was a combination of all the things that she needed in that moment. And given our time of year, the reason that the story kind of stuck out vividly in my mind is that we are in the middle of Hanukkah, and it's a tale that speaks to the idea of miracles. First, the miracle of the oil that was supposed to last one night, that lasted 8, and second, the underdogs of the Maccabean army defeating the Greek Syrians in Antiochus. And this holiday, too, kind of shows us the perfect combination of a number of factors that lead to an ending. And so the reason that this family story or that moment felt so in connection with the story of Hanukkah, because it had me thinking a lot about the idea of miracles over the past week. How do they happen? And what even is a miracle? And I say it in quotes specifically, right? Because a miracle is a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But what I mean by it is the sometimes unlikely nature of a sequence of events that leads to an ending that feels like it just works in that moment. The miracle of this family finally making it to somewhere where they could feel safe for just one night, or the miracle that led to the Hanukkah story, in whatever way you interpret the Hanukkah story. And so to answer that question about miracles, not so much partially our Torah portion, but I'm actually turning to our Haftorah for this week, which comes from the book of Zechariah in the 4th chapter. And there's a verse that reads, "Not by might, not by power, but by spirit." Again, I'll repeat that. Not by might, not by power, but by spirit. And like so much of the Hebrew Bible, this line is a little bit ambiguous and up for interpretation, like things are. It sounds like the prophet is preaching that spirit supersedes power and might, that God reigns over the power of man. And likely, given the nature of the prophets, that is to achieve the rebuilding of the temple and the return of the people to Zion. It's kind of the goal that is throughout a lot of the prophets. I'll fast forward to maybe the 70s. Debbie Friedman in the 70s? Yeah. The 70s, 80s, where the Jewish musician, we use a good amount of her music, Debbie Friedman teaches us another interpretation. 1974. And now we have that she proposes the idea with her lyrics that says, "Not by might, not by power, but by spirit alone, that we all live in peace." And she proposes the idea that what this is talking about is not a return to Jerusalem, but to peace. That it's not might and power that leads to peace, but the faith of people, that faith in God will always be a driving force of peace over those in power. And say I don't deny the importance, of course, of power and of might. They serve their purposes and are so important to how we see society, how society operates for good and for bad, I would say. But when we look at the role of spirit, especially when we are seeking peace, especially when we are seeking wholeness and we're seeking that sense of miracle, that sense of the pieces lining up just right to reach a place of safety, that power, that sense of power and that sense of might cannot happen to its fullest extent without any spirit, without any faith, without any hope that goes beyond what is tangible. We also see it in this week's Torah portion. Joseph is in a place to enact the idea that spirit is what drives us to success and can potentially be more important than power. As he is working his way out of the lowest of lows, he does so by interpreting Pharaoh's dream. That's where we are in the Torah. And it allows him to climb the ranks of royalty within the Egyptian government. And again, because of his lack of power in the moment, right, he goes from the pit to jail and to really the bottom of the totem pole there. But his ability to interpret the content of Pharaoh's dreams comes from his faith in God guiding his way. And his faith in, I think, knowing that he has more potential and he has the potential to go further than where he is. And so with all of these in mind, with the story of Hanukkah, with the story of Joseph, I keep coming back to that woman in El Paso and all of those families that I witnessed seeking refuge. They are coming from a place of complete powerlessness and truly could not be where they are without that sense of faith and spirit. I say that in terms of faith in God and faith of a higher power and faith of hope in people. The idea of faith in something has to go hand in hand with how we think about power, because we learn from these stories that the only way for there to be that perfect sequence of events that feels like a miracle is for faith to come along with whatever role power and might are playing. So again, I'll share so much more about this trip soon because it's such important stuff that I learned. But the biggest takeaway I brought home for me with this trip is truly that role of spirit. That sense of drive and determination paired with faith that allows that combination of events that make miracles happen. They both allow candles to burn for 8 nights, and it brings people who are in danger to countries and communities that are there to provide a safe haven when one is needed most, something that can feel like a really important miracle to those that are struggling. So in the season of light, I pray that we always remember that not by might and not by power, but we also need that sense of spirit, that sense of faith, and that sense of hope that we will all one day live in peace. Shabbat Shalom. And with that in mind, we will return to our liturgy, to our prayer of redemption, the words of Aleinu, and I'll invite you to please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We now come to the words of Mourner's Kaddish, the words that honor the lives of those in our families and our communities whom we have lost. As part of honoring their memory, if you hear the name of a loved one, if you feel so inclined, we invite you to rise in honor of their memory. We're in a period of Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning, remembering Carolyn Leibowitz, sister of Audrey Stolberger, and aunt of Adam and Lisa Stolberger. We're remembering Jerome Schultz, husband of Linda Schultz, and we're remembering Richard J. Cogan, husband of Susan Cogan, father of Andrew and Nina, and Pamela, and grandfather of Elizabeth and Jason. We're in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, remembering Rosemary Casey Starkman, William K. Lavin, Carol Lipton and Diane Apter. And to the yard site, the anniversary of passing of Flora H. Blychrode, Rose Blitzman, Sarah F. Block, Emmanuel Bloom, Peggy Blumberg, Rebecca Brenner, Esther Berger, William Chelnick, Clara Watcher-Feldman, Martin J. Flam, Wolf Benjamin Foster, Blanche Goldstein Glazer, Mark B. Grossman, Babette J. Guggenheim, Julia S. Harris, June Silver Harris, William Hecht, Leo Hoekster, Marian Jacobstein, Fanny Kaiser, Merle Lee Catcher, Charles H. Kolker, Martin David Leeds, Clara Leister, Rosalind S. Lewis, Jesse Liebman, Minnie Longfelder, Freda Lowenstein, Roger Manschel, David Marks, Herman Max, Abraham Mayer, Carolyn Meyer, Marvin Metzke, Samuel Moore, Gertrude Frost Mavshin, Cy Nagrud, Max Oppenheimer, Dr. Irving H. Plain, Emmanuel M. Polikoff, Anne Ruth Press, Myra K. Puder, Beverly Lucille Saperstein Herzog, Mortimer M. Schlosser, Pearl Feller Schadenfeld, Marty Sender, Max Sherman, Dr. John D. Schinberg, Maurice Edward Siegel, Fanny Wartzman Stillman, Sylvester Saltzbach, Eve M. Erding, Cynthia Gale Wayne, Mary Wattenmacher, Louis Weissman, Judge David H. Weiner, Benjamin Williams, and Lillian Yagoda. We'll rise as one sacred community as we recite the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'vizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudasha b'richu, le'ela min kol birhata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, huya say shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to people everywhere. To which we say, Amen. Please be seated. And before we turn to Kiddush and Motzi, a couple of announcements. There's some stuff coming up in your orders of worship. We are on a little bit of a break for the next week to give our staff, our office, our team here a little bit of a rest. And we are excited to come back in January in full force. Lots happening. I hope you will take a look. And anything really big? Lots coming up. Take a look. And yeah, join us for Torah study tomorrow. Cantor Fishbein is leading on Zoom only, and it'll be a great class. And we'll join together for Kiddush and Motzi. Let's do it.
Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen. L'chaim. That's so sweet. The kids are not lying when they say it's really sweet. Still juice, still sweet. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. So we concluded our service with this last week, but this week feels all the more appropriate. Yes, we did. We had a sort of a camp moment. Not by might, not by power. It's in the Hanukkah section of the prayer book, which I think is on page like 365 or something. So if you'd like to follow along. Not by might and not by power, but by Spirit alone shall we all live in peace. One more time. And not by might and not by power, but by Spirit alone shall we all live in peace. The children sing, the children dream, and their tears may fall, but we'll hear them call, and another song will rise, another song will rise, and another song will rise. Not by might and not by power, but by Spirit alone, Ruach, shall we all live in peace. Not by might, not by power. Shalom. Shabbat shalom.